Ken BECK, Director of Operations for Spectrum Intelligence Group. My special guest today is Pastor Kevin Harrison. Recently had an opportunity to bring you on as a client in your church, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about the situation that brought us together and where you're at before we got acquainted.
Well, I remember the very first thing we actually did together, you had come in and you did some employee evaluations. You gave us a better understanding of our employees, their background, which was, was invaluable to us. To learn the learning styles of people, to learn the types of things that were really, that would move people, and then those areas about people that they needed to know things from me specifically as a leader. So that was an invaluable tool to start with. Then we ran into some employee issues. You know, no one likes to think that you have problems in your own house. Right. You know, we all like to think that everything's perfect, and the reality is we found that we had some issues and we just did not realize. And so when we ran into some significant issues, we contacted Ken, our board, asked him to come on and to be a part of hopefully being a healing process, but certainly a discovering process where we learned how to deal with these employees and how to deal with some of the charges that were brought from this.
As we began to work together, tell me about how the board changed their perspective and things like that from some of the uncertainty that you faced from our first meeting through the month that followed.
When we originally got together, we really didn't have an idea of what we were facing, where it was going to go. There were some legal troubles that had come, and we weren't sure. We want to trust the police department, and we know they have our best interest at heart. But sometimes it's like truth gets muddled a little bit.
Yes.
And so what you did was you helped us to understand the process much better. None of us had had any experience whatsoever with any type of legal background. None of us ever had any charges or anything like that. So we've never been through that process. And so you walked us through that process, helping us to understand what we can expect next down the road. And it brought a lot more peace. The situation was never peaceful, but it brought peace in the circumstances, just knowing that this is how the process is going to play out.
As we worked together through this matter, it was kind of difficult to get some of the information that we needed to address how we're going to move forward. So how was that helpful with your legal team, what we were able to bring to the table in terms of documents and that kind of thing?
Right. Well, one thing we found out very quickly, I ended up having to get an attorney for myself and for our church. And in the process of that, we've gotten a legal education. You know, we've learned that discovery doesn't necessarily mean discovery. Right. And so one of the things that Ken was able to do for us is he literally went to the judge's office himself, and there was a sealed document that was there, and you were able after 31 days to get that unsealed before it could be resealed again, so we could understand what it was that we were up against. My attorney made it very clear. He didn't think there was any way that he could get that done. He told me we just had to wait until they were able to unseal it at some point. But you literally went down to where they were, you knocked on the door, you talked to the judge face to face, and you even made my attorney laugh because he couldn't believe that you were able to get that document. And it really, as a result of that, it's opened up the truth. It's enabled us now to be able to address all the factors for all the charges, everything that was brought against us, so that we can really get to the bottom of what the truth is.
I guess to wrap this up, we can just kind of talk about where you're at with the board now and how things are progressing.
Well, one thing is the board has a much better understanding of the process of everything that we've walked through now. I think that you've helped us a lot, even in understanding people. And that's, people are our most valuable resource that we have. And if we don't have a good understanding of our people, then we're wasting our most valuable resources. And so I think your involvement is, first of all, it's brought us together more as a team, as a board, helped them to think better through processes. I think that even though this has been a difficult situation, it's been a powerfully good situation for us, in that good has come from it. And so I would just highly recommend, if anyone's considering, if they're having employment issues that they're having to deal with, if they're dealing with personnel problems, if there are legal issues that arise, I just encourage them to give you a call, because you've been an invaluable tool and resource for us, and we just know that if you had not been there with us, this would be a much different circumstance we'd be walking through right now. And so, as a pastor, on behalf of me, on behalf of my church, I just say thank you for what you've done for us.
You're welcome. What would you say to other pastors who have a tendency to kind of hold on to negative issues to see how it ends?
Well, I know this. I'm a very educated person. Okay, I've got a doctorate, actually 2 doctorate degrees. I've got a lot of life experience. I've been a vice president at a university. I've walked through a number of things. I'm actually a president of a university even that we have right now. I thought that I had enough education to be able to handle these things. You know, I've got a lot of training, a lot of risk assessment, all those things. But the bottom line is I found in this, I was not capable really of understanding the process. That's why you were invaluable. I mean, you've given me an education. You've given me better than a 4-year education in a university throughout the process here. And so I would just say, you know, if you're there and you're a pastor, maybe you've been like me and just think, well, you know, we can pray these things away. You can't pray them away. I mean, I do believe in prayer. I do believe that God will work in things, but I believe that God gives us wisdom to use tools and resources, and this is a great resource right here for you. And so I'd say, don't wait. The longer you wait, the more trouble there will be for you. That I promise. If you address things up front, you're much more likely to be able to come to a favorable conclusion much quicker.
Pastor, thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
Talk to you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.